Hey, how you doing? My name is Taji Hashemi Sohai, and I am with Team Phosphorus, and this is Deliverable 3. Welcome back. So here we have our updated class diagram with our MVC and our DP principles. So over here we have our controller, we have our view with the race details, and we have our model, which is going to be our race class, which is an abstract class. And moving on, okay, we have our updated use case diagram. So now we added, some extensions. So now from create race, we're showing that here's where we create an official race, here's where we create an unofficial race. From the register, we provide a name. Signing up for a race is where we sign up for an official race or we sign up for an unofficial race. We decided to separate those things to just make things a little bit more clear. From purchase license, we provide credit card info. And for manage user license, we update the category. All right, moving on to the activity diagram, updated. Thank you, Calvin. Calvin has updated this for us. So we start with the user pressing the sign up button. We move on to display races. User chooses a race. Registration is open. No. Then we end. Yes. We move on to see whether or not we want an official race. If we want an official race, we check for a valid license. If we have a valid license, then we move on to a spots open. If we don't, we have to purchase a license. If there aren't any spots open, then we tell the racers that there are no spots open and we end flow. Otherwise, we continue to the payment information. There, the user verifies information. The system receives payment. Then we register the racer. The system sends the racer confirmation, and the racer receives a confirmation. And then the spot has been reserved. End flow. Okay, moving on to our updated UI mockup. We added some available races like the Desert Trail Bike, the City Night Bike trails, and we added a new screen, the racer details for sign up. So where you put in the card number, you put in the expiration date, so you can sign up and pay for the license all in one shot. And moving on, we we went with two design patterns that we felt fit very well with this design. We went with the builder design and we went with the state design. In our opinion, the builder pattern made sense in terms of creating the race class. It has many attributes, all of which are necessary, but they can be added at different times. For example, a race's location might be established at one point. Here, let's look at the code actually, because yeah, we have some working code over here, and we actually got it working. Congratulations to us. So we have a race's location might be established at one point, and its name and route could be added later, perhaps after ensuring that the latter attributes are unique. According to the lectures, this is the perfect situation to use the builder pattern. It omits the need to create many different constructors. Additionally, several team members have experience working with the builder pattern, having chosen it for their individual assignments. That includes me. So I really meshed nicely with the builder pattern. So also to the race class, we applied the state pattern. We realized that even though this isn't explicitly stated in the requirements document, a race can be in 3 different states: upcoming, in progress, completed, but only one at a time. Also, the actions that can be performed by the users depend on the race's state. For example, a racer can only sign up for an upcoming race and leave a review for a race that's already been completed. Now, of course, there's trade-offs. These two patterns sound great separately, but in tandem, since they're both applied to the race class, they were difficult to make compatible. It might have something to do with the way we implemented them, but it was challenging to merge them together, especially because we worked on this as a team. And, different people completed different parts, so putting everything together at the end was a little bit tough, but, thanks to Juliana specifically, we were able to get through it and get everything functioning, and I'll show you that in a minute. And yeah, most of our troubleshooting centered around combining patterns. That was like most of our issues. Was like taking, we had 2 people do the state pattern stuff. We had 2 people do the builder pattern stuff, and then putting it all together. And again, I just have to give a shout out to Juliana because thanks to her, we really got things working. We all worked on it together, but Juliana was really the MVP when it came to getting the code merged together nicely and working well. So here we have our race types, we have our different states over here, and then we have our in progress state. Here's where we start a race, we complete a race, we get the name, we return the state. All right, and then our completed state, this is where, again, we start the race. This is extends race state. This is where we start our state. We complete our race. We get the state name again. All right, moving on to the builder class. This is where we create our races. This is where we build our races. So we decided to, instead of having a nested class, we decided to do a separate class. So here we have the race class, and we pass all of the information through a super, just because that was so much simpler with what we were doing. And then that all comes from our race builder class. So here's where we create our race builder. We create our race object, all right? So we have our attributes here. We have our setters here. And we feel as though we did pretty well keeping with the builder pattern. And here's where we build. And we pass everything just like we do through our super in our official race class. Moving on to the race director. All right, this is where we create races with information we receive from the race builder. And going to the race state, this is the abstract class we use for creating the races, for changing the race state, I'm sorry. And let's see, and over here, moving on to the main, this is where we did a bit of a mock-up, a bit of a demo, and sort of simulate what it's like for the driver. All right, so here we create our objects. All right, so that we can start our race. Here we build our race. We create a race date. Here we set the date. We set the last day to register, which is very important because we want to know whether or not there's any spots left. And then here is where we create our unofficial race builder. So everything we did officially, we did for an unofficial builder. So we have a builder for official races, we have a builder for unofficial races. And we felt that was more efficient. You know, we kept a good separation of concerns there. All right, and let's see how things work. All right, so we have our execution. Again, this isn't perfect. This is just showing that things do work. We were able to get things work over here. As you can see over here, we were able to get things working. So I feel as though we did a pretty good job this time. Again, we're working right up against the wire, but we got everything done nicely. And in my opinion, things are looking very good. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you understood exactly what I was saying.